Alright, I'm gonna tell you how to find a trucking company and how not to try to find a company. First off, this is not how you find a good trucking company, unless you're a rookie. Now, I don't know about those guys. Don't really know about those guys. Don't really know about those guys. I guess we're going backwards now. Don't really know about those guys or those guys. Don't really know too much about them. Crete. I don't know too much about them either, really, to be honest. I can't say anything about them. Bolt. I think they're kind of expedite. Don't really know too much about them. TMC, if you want to do flatbed, maybe. They got slow-ass trucks. I wouldn't work for them. These guys, don't know too much about them. And Reliable. Yeah, don't know too much about them. So, yeah, that's not really how you find a company. Same thing, is that the same? It's a different book, same crap. Same people. Oh, it's a little different. Alright, let's go back. Brown. Don't know too much about them. They're a Southeast Corridor company. Seven Oaks, never heard of them. Alright, pretty much same crap. Okay. FedEx. Probably isn't too terrible working for FedEx Direct. Don't work for like Transport America, who hauls for FedEx, because they got slower trucks and they expect you to do the same thing that a FedEx driver does for less. Don't know too much about these people. ATS, I think they're flatbed. I don't do flatbed. Don't know too much about them. RTI, I've seen them, heard about them, don't know too much about them. 65 cents per mile. Oh, raises up to 65 cents per mile. Probably not. I mean, unless you're a rookie, maybe if they hire you. Rail. I don't know. I guess they're maybe okay. I don't know too much about them. Dart, don't work there. They got slow-ass trucks. And I think they're 100% owner-operator. Mercer, flatbed. CRST, only work there if you're a rookie. And you want to run team. Flatbed. Tanker. I've heard of these guys, but I don't know too much about them. Looks like they're... Oh, well, no, they're northeast. They're southwest, southeast. I guess they go everywhere. Panning for gold. Warren. I probably wouldn't work for them, but I don't really know too much about them. Don't know too much about them. Carling, I did that for a little while. That's a piece of work, man. I tell you what. Southeast Corridor. Don't know too much about them. Don't know too much about them. Don't know too much about them. Or anything for that matter. Don't know anything about them. Road Runner. I've heard of them. Don't know too much about them. TMC. Like I said, if you want to go real slow and you want to drive flatbed, that'd be a company to look into. Shit, I don't know too much about any of these guys. Expediter company. Most expediters, you got to run teams. So, you know, Ashley, I think that's specialized. I'm not sure. Don't know too much about them. Low Boys, Heavy Haul. Hanneth. I understand it's a decent company. My old dispatcher for Coal City Cobb is working there as a dispatcher. I've seen these guys around, but I don't know too much about them. Don't know them. McAllister. I think they used to be known by a different company. I think they changed their name. I don't know too much about them either. I've seen these guys. Don't know too much about them. Don't know too much about them. I don't know shizzle manizzle about these guys. Never heard of them. And dump. I should probably look into that. I've done dump trucks before. It's not too bad. If it pays good, I'll do it. Don't know anything about them. I mean, maybe the recruiting book would be something to look into. What I would do, you know, since I don't know any of these companies, I'm not going to say not to look into any of these companies. Because, shoot, I've been doing tankers so long, I don't know who any of these people are really. Just don't go work for Prime. Don't go work for CR England. Like I said, unless you're a rookie and you don't know what you're doing, and you got to go to a training company, then, you know, do some homework and pick whichever one you think is the best. But if you're an experienced driver, you're already working for a company, my suggestion is Panther. I don't know too much about them, but they're an expedite company. I'm sure they do other stuff too. Flatbed. You're driving down the road and somebody passes you. You write down the name of the truck and you investigate them. Dart, don't work for them. You know, you don't want to drive a slow truck. You want to drive a truck that, I don't know too much about these guys. Look like they haul cars, and flatbed. I looked into these guys at one time, and I'm not sure why I didn't settle on them, but I didn't settle on them for some reason. Crete, I think they were borderline. They're also, it's Crete and Schaefer. But I guess Crete is the main company. CRST. I talked to a rookie team that had just got out of training, and they were running team together, Dumb and Dumber. And they seem pretty happy, but I don't know. So, you make your list of criterias. I would say you want a truck that does 70 miles an hour. No slower than 65 miles per hour, right? Preferably 75, to be honest, but on average, 70 mile an hour truck is doable. That's a good average speed. So you're driving down the road, you know, because I mean, I do 67 when I drive. I don't run against my governor. So if I got a 65 mile an hour truck, I'm going to be barely driving 62 miles an hour or 63 miles an hour. This tanker outfit, I don't know too much about them, but they're worth maybe looking into. Tired. I gotta do an 8-hour split, so I'm making this quick as possible. I'm actually piecing together another video while I'm recording this one. I'm gonna upload that one tonight. I'll upload this one tomorrow. But I'd make a list of pros and cons, talk to other drivers, see what kind of pros and cons that you should be looking for. If a truck passes you and it's a kind of freight that you're interested in hauling, write down the name of the truck. Look them up. Google's pretty good about finding people. Look on Indeed and some other review websites. Look at some pros and cons. I used to say that if they're in these recruiting books, then you mark them off your list. Because, to be honest, if it's a decent company, they don't need to be advertising in here. They'll do their advertising via word of mouth. You know? But, people will talk about them if they're a decent company and be like, hey, yeah, this company's cool. Come over here. You know, like HMD, I don't see them in here. They're not perfect. They got some issues, but overall, they're a decent company. Seems like this is just a repeat of the same companies. Of course, it's the same two advertising agencies. But PTL, don't know much about them. Atlas, that's furniture, I believe. I used to be a furniture hauler. Pneumatics. Yeah, that's a pneumatic company. They're not too bad, I guess. I don't know about the company, but pneumatics ain't too bad. I guess this video is not going exactly the way I planned, because my plan was to say, don't work for any of these guys. But I don't know any of these guys. Hardly. There's Henneth again. So I can't say whether or not to work for any of these guys or not. But, I mean, you can't talk to people on the radio anymore like we used to, because nobody runs the radio anymore like we used to. I don't know who they are. I'm going to just skip to the end. So, yeah, well, that sucks for this video. I guess that's it. So yeah, just make a list, check it twice, find out who's naughty or nice. Figure out what you want. And here's another thing. I did this once, and I hadn't done it since. I did it only when I was working for Cool City Cobb, and my now ex-girlfriend wanted to learn how to drive truck and run team with me. I did this. I went through all those magazines, and I had a list of questions. So I made out my list, made a bunch of photocopies, started calling all these companies. And so I wrote all their answers down on these pieces of paper. I picked the best of the best of the best, reviewed it with her, and then I asked these people for a fax number. And I faxed them my paper, and I had them sign off on it to say that they were telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And most of them didn't want to do that. Most of them were like, "Oh, I'm not signing that," which means they lied. You know, they weren't willing to sign the paperwork saying that they were telling the truth. I wanted it in writing. All the stuff the recruiter said, because I know how recruiters are. Most of them are liars. That's the nice thing about HMD. They recruited me via text, so I had most everything in writing. And a lot of them are doing that now, so you can just, document it with a video screen recorder or screenshots, and then document it in a file folder, or I document my stuff with Cam Scanner. So you document it, and then anytime there's a problem, you're like, hey, this is what recruiting said. I got a timestamp. Everything's right here. And they got to stand by what they say they're going to, stand by. It's like when I went to KLLM FFE with my ex-girlfriend, my girlfriend at the time, they were in breach of their contract. They were in breach of their agreement. They promised us 50 cents a mile, and they only tried to give us 40, 41, something like that. I threatened to sue them. So I got her out of her contract for her schooling. So we ended up bouncing and going to FedEx Expedite. And where we did get 50 cents a mile, both of us. So here she was, a noob, making 50 cents a mile, good money back then. And we were driving a short truck together, and we were doing pretty good, but we couldn't get along. She liked to fight, so we ended up breaking up. But nonetheless, because they were in breach of their contract and I had everything in writing, we quit, and I threatened to sue them if they didn't let her out of her contract for her school. So they let her out of her contract, so she got her schooling for free. So I saved her a couple few grand. I don't know how much it was. Yeah, make sure you get that stuff in writing. It's like these dispatchers. like even here, I mean, HMD is pretty good, but these dispatchers keep trying to get me home for a 34-hour reset. My agreement with recruiting was 2 full days, not 2 full nights, 2 full days, 24 hours minimum. They give you partial days and try to call it a full day. That's a bunch of crap. Don't let them dick you around. But anyway, I gotta take out my trash. I gotta go to bed. If I was hungry, I had to finish eating too. I just got here. It's late. But I had to drive straight through. I'm gonna do an 8-hour split tonight. Get up at my normal time, get fuel, bobtail back to UPS, hook to an empty, go do my drop and hook where I'm picking up, and then drive straight through to Chicago, where I'll get my next load for the weekend. I'm working this weekend, and then I'm gonna basically go home Thursday and have a 3-day weekend next weekend, so I can get my stuff done. But yeah. But yeah, don't try to let them dick you around. I'll show you my screenshots of my logbook and how my dispatcher tried to claim that I had 4 full days off when I really only had like not even 2.5 days off, and tried to jack with me. And so I called him on it. I called bullshit, and I wasn't going to put up with it. And he still tried to reiterate that I had 4 days off. I was like, motherfucker, hell motherfucking no. So I went and had a powwow today with one of the higher ups. And she agreed with me. So that all, I guess, maybe got taken care of today. I also put the thing in 2 group chats with other drivers, and they all agreed with me too. And I'm sure other people watching this video will probably agree with me also. So I feel justified in my actions, even though I got irate and I cussed him out. But that maybe wasn't justified, cussing him out, but I was pissed off because he pushed me to the limit, and I ain't gonna put up with that crap. So, but he cusses all the time too. He just don't cuss at me. He just cusses to me about other people. So, so it's a little different. But I was just like, ah. But anyways, I'll attach that to the end of this video tomorrow, and you can see what I'm talking about with the logbook. Don't let them do that shit to you. But anyways, I don't know. There's some good companies out here. There's some bad companies out here. You can't talk to people on the CB anymore, but we got the internet, so you can always go look at internet reviews about companies. I did an internet review research on HMD, and I couldn't really find anything bad. The only couple bad things I found online about these guys were mediocre, not really anything to fuss about. In fact, one I thought was kind of dumb. So I was like, hey, cool, let's do this. And I'm doing okay. I'm not complaining. I had a bump in the road with my dispatcher. There's a couple things I would change, but overall, it's not a bad company. So, but if you're a rookie, you can't really work here. There is a loophole. If you can find somebody who's willing to run team with you, then they can teach you how to drive. But you have to run team with them. It's not no normal training program. So don't look at me. I'm not interested in that. But if you can find somebody who's interested in training you and they want to run team with you long term, then they'll let that person train you. But you're stuck with that person, or they'll basically fire you. You know, I don't know what they'll do, to be honest. If they like you, maybe they'll keep you on if you're a decent driver. But I think the insurance company says you got to have so much experience to be a solo driver here. On that note, good night.